Blessings. We are back with another video. All right, before I begin, a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in signing up for classes that I do offer, the way to do that is go to patreon.com/Baniti, B-A-N-I-T-I, tier 3. Patreon.com/Baniti, B-A-N-I-T-I, tier 3. That gives you access to the 3 private classes that I do every month on Patreon and the group ritual that we do together at the end of the month. All right. It also gives you access from the day you join, not only the day of the classes that, from the day you join moving forward, but you get access to all of the classes and the archives from before you joined. All the classes now are archived on the Patreon page. They're all in categories, so very easy. They're all numerically ordered and categorized. So now it's very easy. When you sign up on Patreon, you go to the collection section, and each class is categorized and archived. And there's a ton of classes. There's even the section where all the rituals are archived. And right now we've done 38 rituals. That's just the group month rituals, the monthly rituals. It doesn't count all the ritual work and the work that comes along with all the classes. The Patreon page is completely different, nothing like YouTube. We go very in-depth and personal resources, ritual work, research, talking about things on a multitude of levels. So a bunch of different things. We go a lot more in-depth, and we talk about things that we would not openly talk about on YouTube. So it's, again, if you want to take your spiritual studies to the next level, that's the way. That's what you want to do. Go to patreon.com/Baniti, tier 3, and that will give you access to the 3 private classes we do every month on YouTube and the group ritual. Also, if you are interested in a spiritual reading, so let me put this out there, yearly forecast readings are back. I do yearly forecast readings from November, probably to about February 1st is the cutoff. Yearly forecast reading is just that. It's to see what the spirits and the demons, the gods and goddesses have in store for you for 2024. If you're interested in booking a 2024 yearly forecast reading, shoot me an email. Also, if you're interested in a reading in general, I offer telepathic demonic readings, Santa Muerte readings, Egyptian oracle readings, deity readings, shadow work readings. For information on how to book either a yearly forecast reading or any other spiritual reading or a consultation, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, one word. Primordial Chaos, 2 words on Facebook. Don't forget all this new content is being uploaded to the Primordial Chaos podcast, which can be found on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. All the information, my contact email, the direct link to the podcast, to the social media pages, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. All of that is in the description box of this video you are watching right now. All right, as I am headed to my destination to get the all-important exercise in, which is super important, you see the title. And we have to make this clear. The path of the occult, the left-hand path, I want to make it clear. From the perspective that I'm teaching also, I want to make it clear. It is not a religion, okay? It is a way of life, okay? I've said this many times before. And I'm going to explain to you the difference, and I'm going to explain to you briefly why I'm saying that, okay? A religion, especially if it's one of the 3 monotheistic religions, Islam, Christianity, or Judaism, is a religion that promotes the worship of a false illusionary god, a fictitious mythological god. These religions have a bunch of rules, regulations, restrictions, dogmas, do's and don'ts. What you can eat, what you can't eat, what you can't do, what you can do, what you're supposed to do. You must do this, you must do that, this, that, and the other. That's all your major religions. Anything that confines and restrains you with a bunch of rules and regulations and do's and don'ts is not a path to self-mastery. It's not the occult. It's not the left-hand path. Okay? Because the left-hand path is everything opposite of that. Okay? It's a path of freedom, liberation, spiritual sovereignty. It's a path of apotheosis, which most people don't know what the real fuck that really means, especially outsiders. It's not just about self-indulgence and self-gratification and we'll do this, that, and the other. We have no concern or care for anything or anybody else or anything in the world and all that other bullshit. That's that spooky outsider viewpoint, okay? It just means the individual places themselves in the equation first, and everything else evolves around them. We don't take ourselves outside of that circle, right? Because when you're outside of that circle, then you are prey, you are a victim, you are a puppet, you are controlled by the masses, because you're not standing firm in the center of your axis or standing firm on your square, as they say in masonry, right? You are now susceptible to inferior forces outside of yourself that you've accepted as a reality, be it your sky daddy God, your Allah, your Jehovah, or whatever title you want to give it. Because the bottom line is that the first thing that you can confirm is real is yourself. And everything that proceeds from you is real. Outside of that, you really don't know. Because outside of that, this is how they can creep in with faith and belief and force you to accept things you can't confirm and see. And they want you to just operate on blind faith alone. That's not how this works. That's why this path is not a religion. Okay? But then people say, well, what about the deities that people on the occult, the left-hand path, work with? What about them? Are they not real? Are they not real? Are they fictitious? Is that mythology? They're very real. They're as real as we make them. They're as real as we've manifested them through our ritual and spiritual work. Because there is a more consistent history. There is more of a consistent timeline and practice in what we do that's validated by the results, not just faith and belief. So that's where the line is drawn. Okay? Because if you're on the path of the occult or the left-hand path, you shouldn't accept anything you have not confirmed to be real. Okay? That's the difference. We don't just accept something because somebody tells us to. We don't just accept something because the masses as a whole, or society, mainstream society as a whole, says this is what's right and this is what's wrong. You make that decision. And it's a way of life, because we don't, do whatever the fuck you want from Monday to Saturday and then go to church on Sunday and ask for repentance to get a clean slate and start all over again. See, when you're in a religion, you could be a hypocrite. You could play holier thou when you want to play holier thou. You can be scandalous when you want to be scandalous and do your dirt. Guess what? We could do either or of what you're labeling that. We can indulge in things of pleasure that the outsider may look at through religious eyes as being sinful. And we know we can at moments do when we need to raise our spiritual vibration to do ritual and spiritual work. But again, not feel guilty about some of the pleasures that we indulge in that religion makes you feel guilty of. Okay? And that's why this is not a religion. We don't deal with guilt. Okay? Religious guilt that's promoted through fear of, if you don't do this, this is what could happen. Okay? So when you belong to one of those religions, you could be a hypocrite. You could fake the funk. You could play holier thou on whatever day you choose, this, that, or that. But the thing is, you got to keep that charade up for all of those who belong to that same religion. Because there's a standard requirement that you're judged by. Now, the difference with this path, one, you can't fake the funk. You can't come amongst true occultists, true left-hand path practitioners and pretend you're this deep, dark magician and you got so much fucking knowledge and you know everything, this, that, and the other, and you're so heavy, because guess what? You walk amongst the real, you're going to be tested with that bullshit. I've seen it. I've seen motherfuckers wet the bed. Tough motherfuckers that were so dark and so in the occult and this, that, and the other, and I watched them wet the bed, which is my metaphor, act like little scared children when they get on this path. Right? The talk is heavy. It's deep. But when you put them in the trenches, the bitch comes out of them. Just gotta keep it real. Okay? And that applies to some females too. I've seen some stuff over the year with females too. Talking all that sex goddess shit. I'm so dark and deep. And I'm so heavy. And I'm a real bitch. And oh, nobody ever met nobody like me. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. And as I said in the past, those rah-rah talkers, you know, they got the big rah-rah, big game talk. They're the first ones that get dumped to the wayside on this path. They're the first ones that get booted off this path because they get called out for that bullshit. They come to that fork in the road where they face that real fucking moment, that all that shit that they talk, that they're going to have to live up to it, and then they find some justification to leave. They find some reason, make it look like they were done wrong. Didn't like this. This wasn't right. This, that, and the other. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with the individual. Okay? So, we live this life. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We eat, breathe, shit, and piss this life. It should reflect in your everyday life, how you carry yourself. If you have children and family, how you raise your children and your family, the whole nine. You must be a living example of this knowledge. That's the difference between a way of life and instead of playing church when it's convenient for you on Sundays. Okay? We left that lifestyle. We don't deal with that hypocritical lifestyle. Okay? And we take accountability for our actions. Okay? We take responsibility and ownership for all of the good and bad that happens to us in our life and what we experience. We take responsibility for the choices and the decisions we make. We don't give that credibility to some sky daddy, good or bad. Okay? We understand who and what we are. We understand our nature. And in understanding that nature, there's good in aspects to that. We know our strengths. We know our weaknesses through our shadow work. I can go on and on to show you the work is what bears the fruit of who and what you are. Like I said in the previous video, I was talking about that on the purpose of doing ritual work, right? It's that same thing. You judge it. What's that old saying? You judge a tree by the fruit it bears, right? So if you're talking all this rah-rah shit, you this, that, and the other, but your tree ain't bearing them fruits to validate the shit you talking, then you ain't no different than a religious hypocrite who's playing occultist, who's playing left-hand path practitioner. Okay? And as I said before, it don't matter what you call yourself, what you think you are, how many books you read, how you're trying to portray yourself to other folks. If you're more worried about that and you're not really putting in the work, then what is it you're doing? You might as well go back into the church or the masjid or the temple or whatever it is that you came from previously. Okay? That's why this is not a religion. And you should never say. Because people will trick you with slick little quick questions. Well, what's your religion? You see, I told you, that question goes hand in hand with, do you believe in God? That question goes hand in hand, because people that ask you that want to put you inside a box to make themselves feel comfortable because they fear what they don't know. See, if you're not saying you're a Muslim, a Christian, or a Jew, something that's linked to monotheism that makes them feel comfortable so they can categorize and identify you, then they're a bit rattled. It's tough for them to swallow and digest. So they don't know how to come at you. Okay? And that's where you got to be smart, and you've got to understand that, again, this is not a religion. But that's why they want you to say that. And then even if you talk to them about the occult and the left-hand path and this, that, and the other, they still need to mix. And be careful of this word too. This word kills me. So you worship the devil? Worship the devil? See, that's that Hollywood bullshit comes into play now. That's that shit in the movies that comes into play. That shit they see in books and the internet and the media. So you're a devil worshiper, right? If you mention Lucifer or the left-hand path or this, that, or the other, immediately the ignorant-minded person will go, you worship the devil. No, fuckface. We don't worship anything or anybody. Okay? We bow down to nothing or no one. Don't let people run their game on you. Don't let some fucking one-track-minded idiot, he or she who thinks they know everything of what this path is about. They put every person who says they're an occultist, left-hand practitioner, a Luciferian, this, that, or the other, they put them all in the same category in their small little simple mind because they think they have a lock and an understanding of what this is about. And they have no fucking clue. Some of those people are worse than religious folks who are judgmental. Okay? Look, if you don't like the path and you don't know what it is, just leave it the fuck alone. Go about your business. Real practitioners on this path, we're not worried about what everybody else is doing. We're not in everybody else's motherfucking business. We don't go on a crusade to debate and argue and debunk and fight people. Now, don't get it twisted. You come with that bullshit, you're gonna get that ass whooped. So don't think we ain't a bunch of turn the cheek motherfuckers either. Let me put that out there. But we're not gonna be the instigators. But come with that smoke, and you're gonna get that fire in return. So don't get it twisted. But our goal and intent, we don't look for confrontation or conflict or debate. One, we could smash anybody's nonsensical foolishness they come with, so it's a waste of our time. I don't say that from arrogance. I say that from confidence. It's a difference. I'm confident that anybody that wants to dialogue or conversates with me about any topic, I'm confident I will stand firm in my knowledge, whether you agree with it or not. You don't have to. Okay? But I will continuously stand firm on the knowledge that I've acquired and have trust and confidence in that knowledge based on my ritual work and my results. It's that easy. I'm not backing down. Okay? That's why this is a way of life. And it should reflect how you live. It should reflect in your environment. It should reflect in your way of thinking. It should reflect in the way you make decisions on a daily, weekly, monthly, or long-term basis. All of that. Okay? We're not just, I need to play Christian every week because I was raised Christian and my whole family and all my friends and how I grew up and the area that I live in, so I need to portray my image as this good church-going folk or peoples, right? Because, that's just the way I was raised. So since I was raised like that and everybody around me, that doesn't automatically mean that's what you're supposed to or need to be. That's that peer pressure of indoctrination, right? That's that guilt. If I'm not, then how are people going to look at me? What are people going to say if they don't see me and I'm not a good old wholesome church-going person? Okay, well, as I said, look, from day one, it's not about that. Number two, you shouldn't be worried about what anybody fucking thinks. That's the least of your problems. Okay? Because church or not, occult or not, left-hand path or not, people are haters. People are going to hate if you got any level of success on your ass. And it's good to have some people hating on you because it shows you doing something right. Everybody can't fucking love you. You cannot not have any problems with anybody. That's not fucking normal. That's called the cycle of life. That's called you're doing something right. You gotta have some haters. Hate is what fuels and keeps you fucking strong. So it's good. It's good when you got some haters. They keep you sharp. But if everybody loves you and you ain't got, and everything is loving, that's not something not right about that. Then you're doing something wrong. Then people must be taking advantage of you and you just don't know it. Okay? But you got to have thick skin on this path. Can't worry about what people think about you. That's the least of your fucking worries. Because people are going to think what they want to think. People are going to talk about what they want to talk about, whether that's you, this, that, or the other. It doesn't matter. You will stress yourself the fuck out sitting around worrying about nonsensical, stupid shit like that when you can use that same time and energy and work on yourself and get your shit right. That's the difference, people. Okay? I don't sit around. I couldn't give, look, and I say this with the utmost, I couldn't give two shits what anybody thinks about me, good or bad. Why? Because it's irrelevant. Again, I'm sound and firm in what I'm doing. And I'm so sound, firm, and confident in what I'm doing, I ain't got time for that shit. That's why. My thing is, you must got a lot of time on your hands if you sit around worrying about shit like that. I don't stress stuff like that. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. Maybe I'll shoot something else later. So again, this is a way of life. It's not a religion. And for the all aforementioned reasons I just talked about. All right, other than that, if you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading, if you need to reach out to me also for a yearly forecast reading, which is from now until February 1st, if you want to sign up for classes that I do offer, all the links for the Primordial Chaos Patreon page for classes, my contact email to reach out to me, to contact me for yearly forecast readings or readings in general, the direct link to the podcast, all of that information that you need is in the description box of this video that you're watching right now. That's going to do it for me. Infernal blessings. We'll talk soon.